Today we shall be taking you to Halebidu and have a look at the beautiful Hoyasaleshwara temple. At present, we are standing outside the Hoyasaleshwara temple and having a look at the outer walls and the beautiful sculptures carved on the outer walls of this temple. Looking at the outer walls of this beautiful temple, we find sculptures of different gods, goddesses, deities, apsaras, mythical creatures, and many others. The walls have various icons and iconographies from the epic Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Purana, and many other texts. Here we find Lord Narasimha, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Parvati, Krishna, and many other gods, goddesses, and deities. Today we shall be having a detailed look at the temple architecture in minute detail and try to understand and study the temple art of this beautiful temple. This temple has been covered in 5 parts. In the first part, we shall be talking about the history and the beautiful sculptures on the outer wall of this temple. This temple is located at Halebidu in the Hassan district, Karnataka, India. Halebidu is at a distance of 17 kilometers from Belur and around 30 kilometers from Hassan city and 210 kilometers from the Bangalore city. This is one of the most beautifully constructed temples of ancient India and a pride of the state of Karnataka, India. The construction of this temple was started by Ketamalla, a minister of the Hoysala king Vishnuvardhana, who ruled between 1108 to 1142 AD. This is the passage from the entrance of the temple complex towards the main gate of the temple. If we come in, we find a high platform in the front on either sides. This high raised platform was not originally a part of this temple complex. On the left side of the high platform, we find a grand sculpture of Lord Ganesha, and on the right side, we find the symbol of the Hoysala Empire. This Ganesha statue was not originally a part of the temple complex, but later, due to the efforts of Archaeological Survey of India, this Ganesha sculpture was brought here and now is a part of this main temple complex. On the right side is a symbol of the Hoysala dynasty, wherein we find a young boy killing a lion. This is a huge temple complex, and here we have the plan of this temple complex. In the plan, we see the letter H. The letter H indicates the Hoyasaleshwara temple, and the letter S stands for Santaleshwara temple. The Hoyasaleshwara temple represents the masculine aspect of Lord Shiva, and letter S, the Santaleshwara temple, represents the feminine part of Lord Shiva. The Santaleshwara temple was sponsored by the wife of the king Vishnuvardhana called Santala Devi. This temple also has 2 Nandi Mandaps shown by N1 and N2. The Nandi Mandap N1 has a sun temple dedicated to the sun god Surya. There was a time when this temple had a tower or a shikhara made up of bricks. However, over a period of time, it has now collapsed. Now the roof appears to be flat. These 2 temples face east and face the morning sun rays. The stone used in this temple construction is a soapstone, which is also known as greenish schist or chloritic schist. The soapstone is soft when it is inside the ground, and when it is taken out, after it interacts with the environment, the stone becomes harder. The temple construction started in the year 1121 AD. The chief architect of this temple was Kedaroja. The construction of this temple was completed in the year 1160 AD during the kingship of the Hoysala king Narasimha I, who ruled between 1142 AD to 1173 AD. This temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva, but it has many facets which show iconographies of Vaishnavism, Shaktism, as well as many other Vedic gods. The entire temple is built on a higher platform, also called a Jagati. If we look at the temple from the top, we find the plan to be a typical star pattern. Now in front of us, we find 2 mini edicules or smaller temples. When we look closely at the smaller temples, at the bottom we find a layer of elephants, and above that some horses and lions have been made. Two huge gatekeepers or dwarpalas have been made in front of the temple and they greet the visitor. The carving and the ornamentation of these dwarpalas is very intricate and very beautiful. We shall be having a closer look at these dwarpalas or gatekeepers separately and study their detailed artwork in the part 3 of this temple series. Here at the entrance of the gate, on the left side top, we find a beautiful lattice work in which a jali work has been done wherein so that the sunlight can enter the temple complex. The top of the pillars have sculptures of very beautiful women, also known as Shalabhanjika or Madanika. Similar figures are found in the inner mandapa as the capital of the various pillars. Above the entrance is the sculpture of Lord Nataraja, and we find mythical creatures on both the sides. Along with the mythical creature Makara, which is a sea creature, we also find various attendants of Lord Shiva, who has been shown here as Nataraj. This is the entrance gate of the main temple hall, and we shall be going inside this inner temple complex and have a look at the various deities and Garbhagriha and the Antarala in the part 4 of this temple series. These are the outer walls of the temple, and from here we find that the Jagati or the raised platform has been made. This Jagati or the raised platform is also used for circumambulation or parikrama of the temple by the devotees and the visitors who visit this temple. Here we find different horizontal bands which have been made with some of the most beautiful carvings which can be found anywhere in India. Just above the intricate carvings on the horizontal bands, we find large sculptures showing different deities, gods and goddesses. This is probably the most beautifully carved temple in the entire India. In this temple, we find around 340 huge sculptures having heights from 6 to 8 feet, which have been very intricately carved. They show various events from Ramayana, Mahabharata and the Bhagavata Purana. This type of artwork is very difficult to find anywhere in India, not only in India, but maybe in the entire world. The first horizontal band is that of elephants. The king is supposed to be as powerful as the elephants. The second layer is that of lions, ferocious lions, and the king should be as brave as a lion. The next level shows powerful horses and then some scenes from a typical war or a battle. Here we find the beautiful sculpture of Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati sitting on their vehicle, Lord Nandi the bull. Lord Nandi the bull seems to be annoyed, as can be seen from the expressions of anger in his eyes. There is a lot of opposition from Nandi because normally only Lord Shiva sits on his vehicle. This time both are seated on him and hence his expression of consternation. The ornaments of the gods and goddesses look very beautiful. We will now try to slowly cover all these sculptures on the temple which have been depicted from various epics. Let us now go to the other icons and try to study them, appreciate them, see their construction and their location during the Hoysala Empire. Apart from this beautiful Hoyasaleshwara temple, many other such similar temples were constructed. Two other temples which come to our notice is the Chennakeshwar temple at Vellore and that of Keshwa at Somnathpura are another two beautiful examples of temples constructed during the Hoysala period. Here we find a typical scene from a war or a battle, and just above it we find the mythical creature Makara, which is a sea creature. The sea creature has been made with various organs taken from different animals. The tail is from peacock, the body seems to be that of hippopotamus, and various other organs from horse, lion, elephant and many others. And then we find the beautiful sculpture of Lord Krishna lifting the Govardhana mountain. There is a story that once Lord Indra became angry with the people and in order to teach them a lesson, he showered torrential rains in the city of Mathura. The city was getting inundated and then the people of the city appealed to Lord Krishna, who then lifted the mountain Govardhana like an umbrella. All the animals, birds, snakes, all living beings including men and women came under the mountain and finally were saved from the torrential rains and the flood caused by the anger of God Indra. This inundation of earth has many similarities in many other religions, and a similar story is also appears as the Noah's Ark in Christianity. Here we find different types of animals, birds, gods, men, women, cows, buffaloes, and almost all types of animals below the mountain taking shelter under the Mount Govardhana lifted by Lord Krishna. This is a very detailed carving, and these type of sculptures of this scale and intricacy are rarely found in any other temple in India. Here we find two beautiful women have been carved in the corner, and we find one of the women holding a child. The face of the child is not beautiful, and the reason for making this child like this is not known to us. The ornaments of these ladies, their bodies have been made very beautiful. Every feature of their body looks uniquely beautiful. A closer look reveals their beautiful dress, which might have been the dress or the uniform of those times. Here we find another deity which looks like a ferocious goddess, probably Chamunda Devi, and at the bottom we can see on the right and the left side two human bodies which are almost skeleton without any muscles. They appear to be just bones, but despite the body being made up of bones, we also find that they have been provided with very beautiful ornamentation. The goddess has a human skull in her hand, and there's a dog which we can find near her feet. The Hoysala kings constructed more than 1,000 temples, and presently less than 350 temples are available in this area. Here again, a similar sculpture of a female ferocious goddess is shown in a similar manner. Likewise above, all beautiful men, women have been made, and their dresses and costumes have been very beautifully depicted. Here we find the sculpture of the Mahabharata hero Arjun, who participates in the marriage of Draupadi, where the princes are supposed to look at the water below and the image reflection of the eye rotating fish at the top. Arjuna, while looking down in the mirror image of the fish, shoots the arrow above and gets his aim. Here we find Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, the trinity which have been sculpted very beautifully. We are attempting to cover the details of this temple, as most of the people who visit this temple normally are in a hurry and are not able to appreciate the various stories behind these sculptures. Here we find Lord Shankar and Parvati ji. Parvati ji is sitting on the left thigh of Lord Shankar, and below we find some of their attendants. Photography in this temple is not an easy job because the quality of the video or the photograph depends on the direction of the sun. If the direction of the sun is right, then the quality of the video is very good. However, if the direction of the sun is in the opposite direction, then there are lots of dark areas where we are not able to capture the beauty of this temple properly. Here we find the image of Lord Brahma, who has been shown with 3 heads. In this beautiful panel, we find the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, which is called the Narsimha avatar. Here, Lord Vishnu took the avatar of a man lion, and he, on the call of his disciple Prahlad, he killed the demon Hiranyakashipu. Here we find many images of Lord Krishna in his various forms. One of the most common image in this temple of Lord Krishna is Krishna playing the flute. This image is known as Murli Krishna and has been very beautifully depicted. Here we find another incarnation of Lord Vishnu known as the Vaman avatar. It is said that there was a king called Bali who used to grant any wish of any person. Lord Vishnu took the avatar of Vaman and he asked Bali to give him land which he could cover in 3 steps. Bali agreed, and Vaman, the Brahmin, in the first step covered the entire earth. in the second step, he covered the sky. And when he was taking the third step, the counselors of Bali tried to stop Vaman, wherein the Vaman advised Bali to go to the Patala. That is how he was shifted from earth and spent his balanced lifetime in the Patala, that is the nether world. Here again we find one more deity, the ferocious aspect of the Devi, probably Chamunda Devi here. Here again there is a huge panel of Lord Ganesha, and nearby we find probably Lord Vishnu and Nagdevta, which have been made very beautiful. Most of these panels are 7 to 8 feet tall and very wide, and one of the most beautifully carved panels here in this temple. This temple has more than 350 such panels which depict various aspects of iconographies from the Indian epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana and Purana. Here we find Lord Indra and also Lord Vishnu along with his vehicle, the Garuda, the mythical bird. Here in the center we find Lord Indra seated on an elephant with his wife Indrani. On either side we find Lord Vishnu with Garuda. When we have a closer look at Garuda, we can find that the vehicle has been made man-like. However, he has been shown to have wings and his nose is shown like a typical beak of a bird. It is generally believed that the Deccan Sultanate had attacked this place twice and broke down most of the sculptures here. However, when we had a detailed look at these various temple idols and sculptures, we did not find any sign of systematic damage to the various sculptures here. Whatever damage we found was generally because of environmental factors, and that too the damage was mainly limited to the 7 horizontal bands where soapstone has been used, and the nature of carvings were very intricate. In this temple, Lord Shiva has been shown at 40 places. At 8 places, Lord Shiva has been represented as Uma Maheshwara. At 25 places in this temple, Lord Shiva has been shown in his Nataraja form. At one place, he has been shown in his avatar as a Dakshinamurti, and at 6 places he has been shown in his Bhairava form. So Lord Shiva has been shown at 40 places. Similarly, as a part of the Shakti tradition, Goddess Kali and Parvati and Mahishasuramardiani have been shown at 18 places. This temple has adequate representation of Lord Vishnu, wherein at 15 places he has been shown in his seated position where he sits on the Shesha, and at 12 places Lord Vishnu has been shown as a Krishna Avatara. At 2 places he has been shown in his Vara form. In 4 places he has been shown as Narsimha Avatara, and 1 each as a Vaman Avatara and Trivikrama Avatara. So Lord Vishnu has been depicted at 35 places. Similarly, we find Harihara has been shown at 1 place, Lord Ganesha at 4 places, and Lord Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva, at 2 places. Goddess Saraswati has been shown depicted at 9 places in this temple complex, and then we have the Vedic gods Surya and Agni, which have been shown at 4 places. When we see this temple on the northeast of the outer walls, we find a court scene, Bhairava, Bhairavi, Samudra Manthana, musicians with their instruments, Shukracharya, Kach Devani story, Lakshmi, Uma Maheshwari, Vaman, Trivikrama, Indra story, Veerbhadra, etc. On the southeastern part of the temple, we find various dancers, Bhairav, Bhairavi and Uma Maheshwara. On the northeastern part of the southern temple, we find Krishna Leela, Vasudeva in prison, newborn Krishna, Krishna killing the demon Putna, Krishna stealing butter, Krishna playing the flute among the animals, Krishna and Pradyumna, Krishna lifting the Govardhana mountain, Yudhishthir and Shakuni playing the dice, Kichak molesting Draupadi, and the Bhima Kichak fight. Similarly, on the southeastern part of the southern temple, we find the Bhishma Parv, the Drona Parv, Vishnu standing, dancers, musicians, Arjuna's victory over Drona. On the southwestern part of the southern temple, we find victory of Pandavas, the Mohini legend, Dakshinamurti, Uma Maheshwara, Tandaveshwara, Vishnu, Arjun, Shiva meeting Bhima, Bhagadatta tale, Bhairava, Ganesha, Vishnu, Vaman, Shiva Parvati, marriage, and many others. On the northwest of the southern temple, we find reclining Vishnu with gods and goddesses, Prahlad, Krishna, Hiranyakashyap, Narsimha, Mohini as Bhairavi and Bhairava, Ram, Ravan war, Indra seated, Brahma and Saraswati, Karna Arjun, Bhim Dushashan, Uma Maheshwara, Ganesha. On the southwest of the northern temple, we find Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Arjun, Kamrati, Parvati doing yoga, Lord Shiva infatuated with Mohini, the golden deer, Hanuman Sugriv, Ram killing Vali, Hanuman giving a ring to Sita Mata, reclining Vishnu on Shesha, Vaman Avatar, Shiva Ganesha dance, 12 Adityas of Vedas, Arjun Bhishma, Shiva Mohini. Here we find two beautiful images, sculptures of the sons of Lord Shiva, that is Lord Ganesha and Lord Kartikeya. Both these sculptures are very beautiful, highly detailed and carved together on the outer wall of this beautiful temple. And at last, on the northwestern part of the northern temple, we find Nataraj in his Tanda form, Devi Durga and Saptamatrikas, Abhimanyu, Krishna Arjun war, Nataraj, 8 Rudra forms, Mohini dance, Bhairavi, Saraswati dance, Angry Narsimha, various forms of Vishnu, dancing Ganesha, Mahisasur Samhara, and many others.